Wade Houston has been a trailblazer his entire life. Growing up in Alcoa, Tennessee, the former Cardinal broke barriers in basketball and in business. Tyler Griever shows us how he continued to push through every obstacle in his path.
Wade Houston never forgets the KKK running through Tennessee, abuse of his elders, and racism of segregation.
I remembered all that stuff. When times got tough for me, I just never quit.
He pushed to become a high school star visiting Louisville, meeting Lenny Lyles of the Baltimore Colts and Ernie Green of the Cleveland Browns.
I didn't really come here thinking in 4 years I'm going to be playing in the NBA. I just saw these guys as businessmen.
Green had his own business, and Lyles was a tobacco company executive.
He reached into his pocket and pulled out a cigarette lighter. It had Brown and Williamson Tobacco Company on one side and Baltimore Colts on the other side. And he gave that to my dad. It's almost like he looked at me and said, "This is where you need to go."
Houston came with Eddie Whitehead and Sam Smith as the first black Cardinal basketball players.
When I first met Eddie and Sam, I mean, I just knew they were good people. We bonded because we had the same challenges coming in.
Those culminated in a Greyhound bus ride back to Tennessee for Christmas break, when the freshman Houston was too afraid to even move.
Because I wasn't about to go into some of those places where that bus stopped. Thinking about that and some of the things we had to make sure we didn't retaliate against, I mean, I was just really, my mind was going all kind of different places, you know, so when I got home, I told Dad, I said, I don't know if I can go back. I said, it's just, he said, oh, no. So you're going back.
He did, helping lay a foundation for the future of Louisville basketball.
Well, I knew that we were doing some things that would pay off, but I didn't really think of where the program would end up nationally.
Houston later became the first black assistant for U of L, going to 4 Final Fours and winning 2 national titles with Denny Crum.
I tried to impart this confidence in the players. When something is not going right, you got to be tough enough to make it happen. That might be where I think growing up, we're just seeing so much racism and going up where you had to be tough enough to survive. That part might have come from me.
But even being a decorated assistant, he felt he'd never be a head coach, getting passed over in numerous interviews.
I've been through so many experiences where you get to the finish line and you can't cross over the finish line. So I said, this is just another effort in futility.
In 1989, though, the school 20 minutes from his hometown called. Tennessee made him the SEC's first black head coach in a major sport.
I was just elated as you understand the magnitude of what you're doing. You start to think about all the other things, the family.
His son, Allen, was a Ballard High star signed to U of L. He got a waiver to play for the Volunteers, becoming their all-time leading scorer.
It really would be good to have him because I haven't been with him, you know, for the last 10 years, just recruiting on the road all the time. He talked about how proud he was of me in the huddle, you know, drawing up plays, and I never knew he was watching those kind of things.
The elder Houston was Tennessee's head coach for 5 seasons.
The thing that I said when I left Tennessee was that I'm going to leave this place in a manner by which the university would never be afraid to hire a black person again.
Wade Houston.
And it was finally time to focus on business. Houston and his wife formed the largest minority-owned transaction company in America and now co-own HJI Supply Chain Solutions.
And I thought I was positively affecting players when I was coaching. When you know people can buy a house, can buy cars, send their kids to school, that's when you know you are making a big difference. That went a long way with me and really where I tried to go from the time I walked on campus at U of L.